Hi Varun, good afternoon. How are you? A very good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you to this session, Importance of Grammar. Right? You know me, I am Nikita, and this is a session that is relevant for all your exams, right? CAT, non-CAT, you pick up any exam and you will find grammar there. Of course, CAT does not ask it directly as such, but when you are trying to comprehend a reading passage and let's say you're not very good with grammar, then of course your speed will slow down, you will face difficulties. Yes? So grammar is important everywhere, something that we'll establish through this session also. Okay, I am also good. Thank you so much for asking. Hi Vidhi. Hello Metri. Good noon. Good noon. Okay, so let's begin. Let's talk about what we are going to talk about. Yes. So the agenda of the session is that we are going to look at which exams ask grammar questions, what types of questions are asked, and how, which areas are important. Students often ask this, although subconsciously I think you know the answer already. But yes, we will discuss what are the important grammar areas. Okay. And of course, we are going to look at some question types, right? We are going to look at some questions themselves so as to see in what all ways you can be questioned on grammar, right? So this is our agenda for the day. Good afternoon, Sankirtana. Hi, Shorts video. Hello. All right. So, yes, the age-old question, something that you know the answer to. Why is grammar important? Why was there a need to have these rules that can actually be used in communication or language? What was the need? Yes, Varun, it will be helpful. Okay, because see the question types, the section format, everything else is similar, no? So it will be useful. Okay. All right. So see this. See, grammar is not just important. Let's say, if I establish a long-term goal for you that okay, this will help you in life. Think those are the things that you already know. Okay. But for an immediate purpose, also grammar is important for you. It is important for your RC passages. Students often ignore this. See, if you do not know the correct usage of, let's say, various tenses for that matter, then in that case, you will have a hard time comprehending your RCs, right? So if I often give this example, so if I say, I've been calling her up but she just won't take my calls, so it's not that in the future she's not going to take your calls, she's currently not taking your calls, right? So how do you realize this? When you have the knowledge of tenses, that even though when I say she won't take my calls, it is the future tense, I am talking about the present. So you understand this when you read the usage of tenses, when you learn about the usage of tenses, right? So for comprehending RCs quickly and correctly, you need grammar. For writing clearly, something that will be very crucial for your writing ability tests, for your essay writing that happens in the stage two. For speaking accurately, for making correct sentences, something that will be really helpful for your personal interviews. So even for your preparation beyond the test, beyond the entrance test, your grammar is going to be your friend. Okay. So that's why it's very important that we learn tenses well, we learn various parts of speech well. Okay. All right. Now, which exams ask grammar questions? You already know the answer to this also, but let me just reiterate this. All the non-CAT exams, right? So if I name the most important ones, NMAT, IIFT, SNAP. So the NMAT is currently going on. IIFT, again, just after CAT, you'll have IIFT. SNAP, this time it's happening in three windows, right? Three slots, so to say. And that again is going to come just after that. So all these non-CAT exams, they do ask you grammar questions. Particularly, if I have to talk about the exams that are intensive on grammar, SNAP would definitely be one. IIFT and NMAT also. They have their fair share of grammar, right? So if you are targeting these exams which are just around the corner, which are just going on, then you need to be good at grammar. And the best part is once you learn how to attempt these questions, they are really time saving. So you get marks and you get them quickly, right? So All these exams have grammar questions. Now, what are the popular question types? In what all ways can I ask you these questions? That's the next thing. So, the usual question types, something that we have practiced for. So, if you have been with me, let's say since MAHCET prep, then we have practiced so many sentence correction questions, error spotting questions, identify the correct or incorrect sentence out of multiple sentences that are given to you, right? 4 or 5 sentences. Then fill in the blanks. These are the usual, most common types of question formats. There can be others also. So there can be a match the following. If the examiner wants someday to make it really complex for you, it can be a crossword also. Although I haven't seen a grammar crossword so far, right? Uh, and yes, sometimes your word usage questions, the correct usage of a word, they also have elements of grammar, right? Your common confusables questions. So they ask you, will a was be used here or a were be used here? Will a whose be used here or who apostrophe s will be used here? So these are also testing questions based on grammar only, right? So these are the ways in which you can be questioned on grammar. Now, how many of you have started preparing for it or have attempted some question types on grammar? Tell me in the chat box. Yes. How many of you have been acquainted to at least some grammar question types that I've just stated? Let's see. So, Varun, what do you say? Sankirtana, Maitri? So, I'm sure that you must have practiced some previous year papers. Yes. Snap can ask you parajumbles. Snap has asked parajumbles in the past. Para summary, it's not a given for Snap as such. So if you look at your previous 5-year papers, you'll not find para summary questions as such, but you will find parajumbles. Okay, so parajumbles for sure. Para summary, I can't be sure about it. Covering grammar through mocks, very good. And I want you to cover grammar through your previous year questions as well. I'm very sure that when you practice for an exam, when you prepare for an exam, you do go for the previous year question papers. They are a gold mine when it comes to grammar and vocabulary, all your non-CAT papers, right? Even your early CAT papers, they have a lot of grammar and vocabulary questions. So please do go through them because they are the quickest way to learn in which all ways you will be questioned. Sometimes they're also the quickest way to learn the application part. See, you might be very well versed with the rules related to grammar, but unless you can apply it in correcting a sentence, it will be of very limited use for our exam purpose, right? So you learn application through it. You are exposed to different question types. You get acquainted with the level of difficulty. So do practice your previous year question papers, and you'll find all these question types there, right? Let me show you some questions today. Okay, so this will also give you an idea. We'll look at some questions of each type that we've just discussed, right? So let's have a look. And towards the end of the session, I'll talk to you about the important grammar areas. We'll talk about it, but towards the end of the session. Okay. So let's have a look at this that 2019 question. It's a fill in the blank, a very normal question type. So CAT में grammar questions directly नहीं आते हैं. Directly नहीं आते हैं. Shorts video. Okay. आप बट यस अगर आपको टेंसेस अच्छे से आते हैं तो फिर आप आरसी पैसेजेस जल्दी कॉम्प्रिहेंड कर पाएंगे राइट सो दैट वे इट हेल्प्स यू आप ग्रामर के बेसिस पे पैराजम्बल्स में लिंक्स बना पाएंगे सो ग्रामर बेस्ड क्लूज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है उसमें सो दैट वे इट विल हेल्प यू ओके so question 1 let's see who answers the fastest not a difficult question okay so Varun says 2 others difficult RC passages में marks नहीं आ रहे. So Trump, okay, how many passages do you find difficult in the test? That's also important to know. If let's say you find 2 of them to be easy and let's say one moderate, one difficult, then the difficult passage is not really a very big concern You can score in the easy passages. You can attempt, let's say, 3 out of 4 in the moderate one, right? And for the difficult one, 2 out of 4, even if it's 1 out of 4, then it will be fine. Okay. Videep says 2. Varun says 3. See, it's a ZAT question, so 5 options. Okay, Trump says 2. All right. See this. Here in this question, you see the concept of conjunctions, you see the concept of prepositions, right? So let me write down what all concepts have been tested. Conjunctions, prepositions, adjectives or quantifiers to be precise, right? These concepts have been tested through this question, right? So dash the importance of horizontal stratification to divide something into strata is to divide them into categories. So in a way we are talking about horizontal categorization. Dash the importance of horizontal categorization. Dash higher education is widely acknowledged. There's a comma, see, important. Dash attention has been applied to horizontal stratification dash compulsory schooling. All right. Now we can clearly see that there is a contrast ka relationship here. So probably the importance is known, but it has not really been given attention. That's the meaning of this sentence. I grasp it just on seeing the first word of various options. Okay. Can whereas fit here? Whereas it is known, whereas it is acknowledged. See, whereas is used, yes, in contrast. So A, let's say A performed well, whereas his friend didn't even appear for the exam. So this is how you use whereas, right? You give one situation, then you use whereas, and then you give the other contrasting situation. Here that is not happening. So the whereas structure becomes wrong right away. So I'm glad nobody said 1 and 5. Okay. Now, while is used for contrast. While is used for contrast. While has two uses as a conjunction. One is to give a contrast. So, for instance, while he stayed indoors, his sister played football outside. While he stayed indoors, his sister played football outside. So, I'm drawing a contrast of inside versus outside, right? Or I ate popcorn while watching television. So, there's no contrast there. I'm talking about two simultaneous actions happening. So while is used as a conjunction to mean two actions happening simultaneously or to give a contrast. Here, of course, it has been used to give a contrast. So while fits. ठीक है. While the importance of horizontal stratification dash higher education. So on higher education cannot come. Higher education के ऊपर नहीं कर रहे हैं हम कुछ, right? Then within, without higher education, no, within this field of higher education, that's what I want to say. So right at this stage, just by looking at the first two words, you can actually solve this question. That makes it an easy question. Okay, so the importance of horizontal categorization within higher education is widely acknowledged. Now see, far less attention, far less attention. So I'm comparing, right? So it will be less. Further less will not be used here. That will be using two comparatives. Further less, right? Further is also comparative, less is also comparative. Fewer I cannot use here because you use fewer or few as a quantifier with countable nouns, isn't it? Things that can be counted. Whereas attention cannot be counted. So fewer I could not use here. And then too less attention, but then we already rejected it because of whereas. So bacha bas two hi. This is an easy question. And here your conjunctions, your prepositions, your adjectives, quantifiers, all of these are being tested. Okay. So you should know how to eliminate. Bottom line is this, right? That's how you attempt these questions. Okay. I hope this makes sense, Varun, now. Why 2 is the answer and not 3? We are talking about what is the case in a field. So without cannot be used here. Further less, two comparatives cannot be used. Right? Okay. Now, VRC 99 percentile. How many marks do you need? 80% accuracy के so कितने attempt? Okay. So for a 99 percentile in VRC, you need 45 marks, right? Okay. Now for these 45 marks, you need 15 net, correct? So you tell me now it becomes a math problem, right? With negative marking of -1, how many questions do you need to attempt with an 80% accuracy so that you get a 45? That's your answer, right? So the previous year statistics help you a lot when deciding, okay, what should my score be? But it also, of course, the underlying assumption here is that the current year's paper will also be similar in difficulty level to the previous year. Then you will need 45 marks. Otherwise, it could be lower also, higher also, depending on the level of difficulty of the paper, right? Okay. Now, coming to our next question for the day. This is again a ZAT question, 2020 this time. Now, this is that kind of a question where multiple sentences are given to you and you have to find out which is the correct one. And if you see, they are similar in some sense, these sentences. So 1 and 2 are similar, 3 and 4 are similar. So let's see what you mark here. I'm sure you'll mark this correctly. Okay, so this is a question that has been asked. Varsha is asking that for verbal reasoning for NMAT and SNAP, where all should she practice from? See, for NMAT, I would strongly recommend you to go for the NMAT official guide first, right? Because it contains some previous year papers also. Its pattern will be very similar to the actual NMAT exam. Okay. Apart from this, of course, whatever memory-based previous year papers are there in the public domain, memory-based papers. If you've exhausted this and you specifically, let's say, want to practice critical reasoning. So now there are sources, let's say, specifically for critical reasoning, those strengthening, weakening questions. Then there is a book called 1000 CR Questions by Kaplan. Okay. There are a lot of GMAT forums also online that discuss these questions. Okay, so you can also consider looking at these questions from there. And apart from this, all your non-CAT previous year papers, right? They also have questions such as statement conclusion, statement assumption, course of action. These question types are there in many non-CAT papers. So whatever previous year papers you are able to get hold of, those will be your sources, right? So this is what I can think of right now. All right. Now E or A, confused between E and A. Varsha, the verbal reasoning, if you have GMAT books, the critical reasoning there is of a really good quality. It'll help you to some extent for NMAT. In SNAP, I've seen relatively easy CR questions. The level of this is top notch. The level of these CR questions. So what you can do is, in case you have this, go for the easy ones. The first few questions in the GMAT official guide, they are categorized like this, that they are divided into 3 levels. The first few questions are the easier ones for CR. So you can go through those, right? Okay. So D, E, A, that's what I've got. All right. Let's have a look. That means one everybody believes is correct. In my opinion, Tom Jones is a picaresque novel. What is a picaresque novel? Yes. Picturesque everybody has heard, right? So what is picturesque? And is it related to picaresque? Let's find that out. Yes. First, let me know whether you know what a picturesque, let's say a picturesque scene, a picturesque novel. So, no, they're not related words. Okay, let's learn the meaning. So, we are improving on our vocabulary also. Picturesque, something that's very vivid and beautiful, right? Vivid and beautiful. Okay. Picaresque, on the other hand, it relates to adventure. So if I call a novel a picaresque novel, okay, that means it has the adventures of a hero, like a Robin Hood, right? Somebody who is adventurous, but at the same time a little dishonest, a little rough, right? So probably somebody uh, like Robin Hood. That's the name that comes to my mind, right? So picaresque novels, it's a genre of a novel where you have a hero who is the hero, but at the same time, he's a little dishonest, right? Your anti-hero, so to say. Okay. Bildungsroman. Anyone? Bildungsroman. So Bildungsroman is a thick, long novel, which is a coming of age novel. A coming of age novel wherein you will see the journey of the protagonist from childhood to, let's say, crossing adolescence and stepping into the adulthood, and all the challenges that he or she faces during this period. That is a Bildungsroman. So these are styles of novels, right? A short novel is called a novella. So we have novellas, we can have a Bildungsroman, okay, we have picaresque novels, etc., etc. Okay, so, in my opinion, Tom Jones, oh my God, I tried to read this novel. It was so boring, Tom Jones. But yes, Tom Jones is a picaresque novel. Okay, uh, according to me. So, basically, you had to differentiate between these two. Yes, there is nothing like according to me. It's a very common error. Yes, yes, there are other esque too, like Kafkaesque. So, when I talk about something called Kafkaesque, that means relating to the style of writing of the author Franz Kafka. So Franz Kafka used to write novels wherein he would show a common man suddenly being crushed by overwhelming authorities, overwhelming forces such as the government, etc. Right? So that is so when we add this isk, it means in the style of. Okay, in the style of. So picaresque comes from picaro. Picaro means a ruffian, a gunda, right? So picaresque, uske style ka. Kafka is Kafka के style का. Picture is something that actually paints a vivid picture in front of you. Okay, all right. So I was talking to you about, yes, this thing that there is nothing like according to me. Okay, we use according to because we are quoting someone, we are citing someone. We can't cite our own selves, right? And that's why according to me is wrong. According to X, Y, Z, that is correct, but not according to me. Then you are just giving your opinion. So say in my opinion. Okay, so one is correct definitely, and that eliminates B and C. Good. This is a very important point here. Three. Is three correct between Jessica, Neha, and Swati, or among Jessica and Neha? Which is correct? Or neither? Or would you say neither? You can't really say neither. The options don't allow for that. So tell me, which one do you think out of three and four is correct? Is it okay to say between for three people? Jessica, Neha, and Swati? Hmm. See, among for two people is definitely wrong. Yes. So this is how you also must have eliminated that among for two people is definitely wrong. So D and E cannot be the answer. Among is used for more than two people. My question is three correct? Because here also there are more than two people. So should I not use among here? Okay, okay. I wanted to say neither. All right, all right. So between in fourth we should have between. I definitely agree with you. Actually, what we have been told during our childhood is that between is used for two things. Between is a preposition that we use when something is being distributed among two people or things. Okay. And among is a preposition that is used for more than two. That's what we have been told. However, this is incomplete information. Between can be used for more than two also when I distinctly name the entities, when I distinctly name the people or things. In fact, between should be used in that case. So I have distinctly named the people here. So I cannot say among here. Okay. We say this, no, there was a meeting took place between the parents, the teachers, and the students. choose between option A, B, C, or D and D, right? Choose between option A, B, C, and D. So four options, yet we use between because I am distinctly naming the options. Among is used in the case that I have mentioned more than two entities and I have not distinctly named them. So if I say a meeting took place dash the three parties, now I have not named the parties. Okay, so now I'll say a meeting took place among the three parties. So that's why 3 is correct. Nothing wrong with 3. Okay, so this comes across as new to a lot of students, and I wanted to talk about this. So that way, we have eliminated all the options and we are left with 1, 3, and 5. These are the correct ones. Okay, the life, I do not need the article the before life. When I'm talking about it in general, I do not put the before it. Okay, the life of a particular person, that will need the life of Rabindranath Tagore, let's say. Okay, then I will need the because I'm talking about a specific person's life. Okay, here in general, I do not need it. Here also, I do not need it. So 1, 3, and 5 are correct. Make sense? So if you see, we learned about in my opinion. So this is actually vocabulary. Yes, that what kind of a phrase do I use when I refer to myself? Okay, when I talk about something, that's my opinion. Then we learned about prepositions. So grammar concept here. Prepositions are very essential for you. Okay, because quite a few of your exams sometimes separately question you on prepositions. NMAT does this. Okay, so NMAT specifically has specifically stated prepositions in its syllabus also. So for that, then sometimes IFT specifically asks you questions on prepositions. Sometimes SNAP also does it. So, and in fact, yes, that has also asked you specific questions on preposition in the past. So do prepare for this topic. Okay, and articles. This was about articles. So I think through the questions that we are covering, you also must be getting an idea of what are the important areas, so to say, right? Okay. Yes, I have explained it with you. It's an important concept that is tested in the exams, right? So our answer is A here. I hope it is now clear to everyone. Let us talk about question number 3. Right, this is an IFT question, previous year's question only. Let me see what you say here. Yeah. Okay, so there's a question, when do we use amongst? Among and amongst are absolutely the same. Among and amongst, absolutely the same, just that amongst is an older word, right? Just like amid and amidst. Absolutely the same, no difference. Okay. So I've got B, A, C, all right. What else? So getting very diverse responses here. B, A, C, okay, B, A, C, all right, all right. Okay. So, okay, all right. This is what I've got. B, A, and C. That means everybody believes that D is incorrect. He loves either your son or my cannot come in isolation. See, my functions as an adjective. It's a pronoun that functions as an adjective. So my needs something after it, right? My son. He loves either your son or my son, right? He just elaborating on what she wants to say. This in its correct form, in its current form, is incorrect. So your son, or what should I write here? If I do not want to write son, or mine. Okay, so D is definitely incorrect. This is knowing the usage of possessive pronouns, the difference between possessive pronouns, if I go into the depth, and possessive adjectives. This is a possessive adjective. Okay, all right. Now, A says, whose are these cattles? Cattles. Is cattles correct? Yes. Those who said A, cattles. There's nothing like cattles. Cattle itself is plural. Okay, cattle is plural. It includes all those domesticated animals in the cow family that are there in somebody's farm, let's say, right? So all of those are referred to as cattle. So that's why cattles is incorrect. D is incorrect. So this is about the usage of collective nouns. See, so IFT also is sometimes specific about what it is questioning you on. It has clearly mentioned that these are certain nouns or collective nouns that you have been asked, right? In the previous questions also, did we mention this? No, in the coming questions, we'll mention other parts of speech also. So you'll see that. Coming to B and C, sceneries. Okay. See, there is nothing like sceneries. There's no word like sceneries. It is scenery only. The scenery of Kashmir are very charming. Scenery, plural is also scenery, right? Probably we try to translate it from Hindi to English कि वहाँ के दृश्य बहुत अच्छे हैं, ठीक है? So in Hindi you can use it like that, but in English the plural of scenery is scenery only. Okay, so even if you're talking about multiple scenes there, so to say, you will still use scenery. So even this is incorrect. C is the answer. No news is good news. No news is good news. If we haven't got any news for them from them, that means it's good news. So news is never plural. News is always singular, right? So all of you said it. Nihar, Apurva, Ankita, Pragya, Vinees, absolutely correct. Good, good, good. All right. So C is our answer here. I hope this is clear to everyone. I think Varun, you asked earlier if Bildungsroman has Roman in it. Yes. However, it here means a novel. It comes from the romantic tradition. Okay, just explore from where the word romantic comes, and then it will become clear to you why Roman means a novel. Okay, all right. Coming to uh, the correct usage of the verbs. Now, see, again, IFT was very specific that it's questioning you on verbs here. It even underlined these for you. You just have to identify which ones are the correct ones. Yes, let's see what you say. Should come where? In which one, Nidul? Where should come? No news is good news. No, I am not using it for one news item here. No, I'm using it in general. So if like I'm not talking about a particular piece of news. Okay, news is an uncountable noun. Okay, so if you want to talk about one news item, you say a news item or a piece of news, right? You don't say a news. That's good news. That's how we say it. Not that's the good news. That is incorrect. Okay, news is uncountable. All right. Coming to question 4. Let's see what you say. Easy ones. In case you've done subject verb agreement, this should not pose a problem. Let's see, let's see. I want a lot of responses. I feel that not all of you are responding. C, okay. All right. Others? Nihar also says C. Okay, a lot of C's I've got today. What else? Any other option? That means you found this one to be easy, in case we agree on the options. Okay, so this is an out and out subject verb agreement question, meaning a question that wants to test your subject verb agreement concepts, right? So see, this is why I said that there is no one topic, no one area that you need to be perfect at the cost of, let's say, others, or you can afford to leave others. Asking this question that, okay, can I select some areas in grammar to learn? That's like saying that, okay, can I leave some letters and still learn the alphabet, or still learn to form sentences and words? It's that kind of a question. So we've seen subject verb agreement so far, articles so far, various parts of speech, right? Prepositions particularly. So all of these areas are actually important. So yeah, coming to this, one or the other of you have to compromise. So whenever I have this or, first of all, and one is singular, the other is also singular. So then how come am I using have here? One or the other of you has to compromise. Okay, so we use the singular verb here. Once I realize this, A and B automatically go out of the picture. Neither the gloves, now see, neither nor structure. Neither nor structure is used when, of course, these are correlative conjunctions, and the verb depends. The verb that we use here depends on what we are using afterwards. So neither the gloves nor the scarf. Scarf is singular, right? So we can't use need here. Need is a plural verb. We can't use that. We have to use needs here. Okay? So neither the gloves nor the scarf needs washing. Had it been neither the scarf nor the gloves, neither the scarf nor the gloves, then I would say need. Then need would be correct because gloves is plural here. So very simple concepts that you need to learn just once in your life, and then you'll not forget them. Of course, provided you practice questions on them. So C is also erroneous. That means it cannot be the answer. Option C, absolutely correct, all of you. Drinking and driving is a crime, right? Uh, is we are using because we mean this to be one activity. Drinking and then driving, we are taking it as one activity, right? Each invoice, each is always singular. So has is correct here. That's why C is the answer. Okay, clear to everyone? So far, whatever we have done is clear? Yes? So we are learning various parts of speech through these questions and also looking at various question types. Now, this is a snap memory based question. Okay, it's from the previous year's memory, right? So a memory based question. Let's see. Now, Snap can go a little deep into parts of speech. That's why I decided to do this question with you. I did it once in a Snap session also. So those who attended that, you will already be aware of the answer here. Yes. Napoleon said, "Able was I ere I saw Elba." So what are the parts of speech of able and ere? Yes, definitely. All of whatever we are doing will be of help in NMAT, IFT, and SNAP particularly. All these three exams, they ask a lot of grammar. So what do you think? Varun says two. All right. So Napoleon is talking in a really poetic manner. He could have said things in a more simple way, but probably back then this was the simple way. Two, four, all right. What else? What else? Four again, all right. So it's two versus four. 2 versus 4. Okay, so let's have a look. See this. This question is not difficult. I'll tell you why. Because of the options. See, You should know this, that able is an adjective. If I say I was able to do that, I was able to do that work. Okay. So able shows my quality. So once you know that able is an adjective, you've solved this question. You don't even need to worry about this part of speech of er. Er is actually an archaic word. It's no longer used in English. Okay, when it was used to mean before. Okay, so what this person wants to say is, I was able before I saw Elba. So Elba did something to him and he became a not so capable man, right? So I was able before I saw Elba. Able is an adjective here, and isn't before joining these two ideas. I was able, I saw Elba. So what is before then? It is a conjunction. Absolutely. So two is our answer here. So do not get scared just by seeing difficult words. Please have a look at the options. Sometimes you will be able to eliminate really easily. Okay. So second. Hope this is clear. Fourth is not the answer. Able is not a noun and air is not an adverb. Okay. Let's have a look at the sixth question. So you have this longish sentence. Do always read this also, this part also. Just because it does not, just because it's not underlined, that does not mean you'll not read it. Okay? So you pura read karo and then read vertically. So you will spot the differences. So for instance, here it's the Ottoman Sultan, here it's Suleiman the Magnificent. So which construction is correct? Okay, so focus on that and tell me the answer. Not a difficult question if you focus on the right things. Okay, so basically you are, I think, confusing two words here. Let me just clarify this. To err is very much a verb that is used in English. Even now, E double R. To err is to make an error. So to err is human, to forgive is divine. To err is human, to forgive is divine. Okay. But that err simply means before. So it's not used as an adjective. E-R-E. Okay. Actually, the R is very silent there. Er. Okay. So it's a very stylish pronunciation. It is used as a conjunction or a preposition and it means before. It means before. It's not used as an adjective. Okay. So 4-2. That's what I've got. Others, what are you doing? More responses needed? All right, then let's see. If it's 2, 4, I've got one 3 also now. Uh, remains of the tomb. Okay. When there is a lot of description in the sentence, you should be very clear about what the subject is. Okay. Um, remains of the tomb of the Ottoman Sultan who died in 1566 while his troops were besieging the fortress of whatever in Hungary. Okay, so basically, sentence बोलना क्या चाहता है after all this description? The sentence just wants to tell us that some remains were found or they were believed to be found. It's just this bit of information that has been given to us with a lot of description, right? So remains uh, is believed to be found is incorrect, right? So this was actually a question that capitalized on the concept of subject verb agreement, right? Remains is believed to be found will be outrightly incorrect. So what is the answer then? Remains are believed to be found. There's just one option. So that's why I said that, it's not difficult if you focus on the right areas. So remains of the tomb of Suleiman the Magnificent, remains of the tomb of Suleiman the Magnificent, the Ottoman Sultan who died in 1566 while his troops were besieging or surrounding the fortress of whatever in Hungary, are believed to have been found recently. Remains के साथ are ही आएगा, is cannot come with it. Remains is plural, right? So 4 is our answer. Good. Those who spotted it, I think Varun did it the most quickly. Yes, followed by Pragya. Very good. So we need to filter out the noise. When there's a lot of description, we need to understand what is important, what is not, and a vertical comparison really helps. Okay, let's have a look at question 7. You have to spot the error. Very easy question. Yes, it was that easy. He has won more medals than them. So, is it an error-free sentence? Nihar says D. All right. So yes, if you found value in the session, then please do press the like button. C. Pragya says C. All right. Amit says C. Okay. So he has one is absolutely fine. He is singular, right? It's a singular subject. So it will take a singular verb has and then the third form of the verb. He has one. More medals is also fine. Than, more is followed by than. This is the problem here. So see, it's testing a very popular pronoun concept. Okay. The concept says that when you make a comparison, you are comparing he, right? You will compare it with another subjective pronoun only. So you will compare it with they. Okay, now you must be thinking, but we never say that in our conversations, right? Because in our conversations, we don't really care about subjective or objective pronouns. And moreover, this is a very, um, I mean, I would say it's a little like nitpicking. Okay, so why? However, there's a logic to it. The logic is that when this thought came to your mind, you must have thought this. He has won medals, and they have also won medals, right? They have also won medals. Then you compared, but he has won more medals than they have. He has won more medals than they have. Now you simply skip the have because there is already a has. So he has won more medals than they have. The have is skipped. Okay. So they should come here. They, not them. Okay, in our conversations we say them, but in written English it should be they. This is called pronoun comparison, this concept, and it's an important concept. So now you see how pronouns are also important for you, right? Okay, then let's come to the last question of the day. Last question. Let's see what you say. Okay. But Pragya, them was wrong. So while one has one actually depends on what I want to convey. If he has just one, it will be has one. If he won in the past, it will be one. But them is definitely wrong. So that was the end. Okay, yes. Last question for the day. I want your enthusiastic response. What do you say? This is an early cat question, meaning from the early cat papers. B is what you say. See, though and but cannot come together. Why am I repeating the contradiction? I've already introduced it through though, right? Then I do not need but, and if I have but, I do not need though. So that's the problem. Okay, then why am I saying using of calculators? Every competitive exam does not allow use of a calculator or use of calculators. So absolutely correct. B, Bangalore is the answer here. Happy to see that all of you said B, right? So now I think you yourself must have realized that when it comes to the important grammar areas, your parts of speech are all of them are important actually. Okay, do focus on prepositions. Do focus on verbs along with the tenses, right? All the properties, tenses, voice, etc. Articles are again important. Subject verb agreement, we just saw whole question framed in that. And modifiers and parallelism because they are relatively new topics for you, right? You haven't really studied them in your junior classes. So these will be the important grammar areas that you have to acquaint yourself with, okay, that you have to solve questions on, right? So I hope you'll take this mock. This will also expose you to some grammar vocabulary questions in the language skills section, right? It's live till 22nd, so do take it. This is our comprehensive CAT 2023 program. You get a lot of stuff in this, right? A lot of material, a lot of expert guidance, so you can enroll now. Then this is our test series with 70 plus mocks. Okay, so particularly very useful for your non-CAT mocks, so you can consider this. And the last lab to CAT 2022 has already begun. Do join us at 7 p.m. every day. And yes, you will learn a lot. These are highly focused sessions. Okay. Do follow us. We are there on Instagram, on Facebook, and we can stay connected via Telegram also through this channel. Right? Thank you for attending. I'll see you next time. Welcome, welcome, Pragya. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. For big options. Yes, yes, absolutely, Nidul. When you have similar options, this is called vertical elimination. Okay, vertical scanning and elimination. Welcome, welcome. Bye bye.